How's it going? My name is Drew and I just completed my first week of orientation for the new grad program that I got hired on for. I'm gonna be working in a behavioral health unit, so I'm gonna be a psych nurse, but honestly, it's gonna be the same across the board. So if you're going into a new grad program, you can expect the same format, the same structure with like minor differences depending on where you get hired. I do have a lot of friends that I met in nursing school. I reached out to them and asked them how their program is set up, and it's very similar with minor differences here and there about depending on the unit that you're on. So if you're in, for example, for me, we're in working with psych and behavioral health. So a lot of our presentations are more towards behavioral health, but I'm sure if you're in ICU, med surg, or pediatrics, things will be a little bit different, but for the most part, everything's gonna be the same. So for the first day, which was Monday, I did make a video of this by itself before I decided to just wait for the end of the week to make a video of the whole week, but I'll just do a quick recap. Monday was kind of boring. All we did was a lot of presentations. We met a lot of the nursing staff and administrative staff, which was pretty interesting. I actually like that. It seems like the staff there is really nice and very willing to help you. And then we also did a lot of the paperwork that we weren't able to finish online for whatever reason. So turning in like direct deposit forms and stuff like that. So pretty slow day. A lot of you introducing yourself to multiple departments. You know, what's your name? What's your favorite food type of thing. For Tuesday, I did make like a little quick segment video before I decided, like I said, to just make a video of the whole week. So I'll just play that portion on Tuesday and then I'll leave off and talk about Wednesday and whatnot. All right, today's Tuesday. It's gonna be our day 2 of our new grad orientation. Yesterday, all we did was paperwork. We took a tour of the facility. We also had a whole bunch of presentations. It was a bit slow. Today is gonna be a little bit better because they're gonna have us sign into our accounts, learn how to chart. We're gonna go through the pharmacy, learn how to pull meds. So I doubt we're gonna be sleepy today. I'm also gonna be going over my bag and what I took with me because I think that's important, because there's a lot of times where I've been to clinicals, my early days in nursing school, and there's things that I don't have that I wish I did. All right, I'm on break. It's 12 p.m. I got a really sad lunch. I got some like beef sausage, a Coke Zero, this sandwich that I made with that keto bread again. I gotta buy some more groceries. I didn't have time yesterday. Right now, we're just doing a bunch of presentations still. I'm waiting to do the hands-on stuff, hopefully when we get back from lunch, but we're doing a mental health worker workshop thing to kind of understand what the mental health workers do here. But as nurses, you know, we still have to kind of help them out a lot, kind of work together, which is good. I used to be a mental health worker in the past, and that is something good to teach other nurses because I had some crappy nurses. But yeah, I'm gonna eat this and then get back in there. So Tuesday again, half presentations, and the other half we had that contraband. It's actually called Mental Health Workers Workshop, and it really goes over contraband and what pieces of clothing are considered contraband and what we should be looking out for. So the presentation was pretty interesting. He did have pieces of clothing there for us to see, and he went ahead and threw some like fake drugs or contraband in the pockets of some of these pants and stuff, and had us search through it to make sure we were catching these things. And although it was just like a little quick funny, you know, example, it still kind of puts the idea in your head like, man, we have to be really careful, make sure that none of this stuff makes it onto the unit where the patient could hurt themselves or hurt someone else. All right, our Wednesday was a bit more interesting. We're on the nurses station, or on the floor, but mainly in the nurses station for the whole 8 hours. So as soon as we clocked in, we went up to the unit. Unfortunately, there was a code gray at like 7:05. Patient attacked the nurse, and it kind of sucked. Luckily, the staff there all like flooded out of the nurses station and controlled the situation pretty quickly, made everything safe again. We weren't able to leave the nurses station because we still needed our MAB training, the management of assaultive behavior. So without that, we can't really go hands-on with the patients or do anything like that until we complete that course. So we were told to stay in the nurses station. But for the most part, we were able to socialize with a lot of the day shift nurses, and they were all very welcoming. If we had questions, they were like, you know, answering and kind of helping out. So it didn't feel as intimidating as other times I've been in other clinical sites and I've talked to nurses. They're kind of mean. But you know, in this new grad program, it seems like they all kind of understand that we're all just new grads. We don't really know much about how things go, so they're very like eager to actually help us. One of the things that I do recommend you guys do, because we all use ChatGPT, I know you guys use it for ATI and stuff like that, you know, I get it, but I highly recommend you guys using ChatGPT to kind of take a quick refresher on your medications. That's something I struggled with in nursing school for a long time, and even to this day. So I kind of turned this into a habit where, let's say I was going into the OB term, right? I would type on ChatGPT, what are the top 10 medications used in labor and delivery unit as a nurse? And then it would print out, or it would give me a whole bunch of medications, and then I can kind of go over them and familiarize myself with them. That's what I did before I started. I knew we were gonna be on the floor on Wednesday, so what are the top 10 medications used in a behavioral health unit? And it gave me 10 medications, and sure enough, looked at the MAR and some of these meds were on there. So I highly recommend doing that just to take a quick refresher on medications. For Thursday, we did end up going to the pediatric unit. So we went downstairs. We were there for only about 4 hours. We got a tour of the pediatrics unit. We also went outside and saw the other pathways we can take in case there's a code and you need to respond. After that, we did our PICS's registration. So now we have access to the PICS's with our fingerprint and all that. So we got all that set up. And then we did some more best care e-charting training. So we had a lot of paperwork done and just kind of go over what we need to be filling out in the e-chart, but we were doing it on a piece of paper to kind of learn. All right, so Friday we did our MAB training. We did our management of assaultive behavior training, which was like 3 hours in the classroom. We did a whole bunch of slides. Then we broke for lunch. We came back, did the hands-on training. So we were in the gym paired up with a partner, and then we did all the how to break out of holds and how to break out of a chokehold and all that. So I know some of those things may seem funny to you, and some of the scenarios are kind of unrealistic, but still take it serious because I've worked for like 5 years, mental health worker. I've been punched, kicked, all kinds of stuff. I've seen other of my coworkers get punched. Saw a social lady get kicked in the chest for asking for a signature from a patient that was sleeping, and he got upset for being woken up. So it can happen anywhere. So just take it serious, make sure you pay attention, what you can do to kind of get your other coworkers' attention if you're getting attacked or whatever. So it's important. So don't overlook it, even though it's kind of funny. Don't overlook it, just make sure you pay attention to that. All right, and that's gonna be it. That was my first week of orientation. If you're interested in these videos, let me know, leave a comment. I probably will still make another video and update you guys on how my work experience has been going. Today is gonna be my first shift, so I will be paired with a preceptor today. Hopefully the night goes by smoothly. I am night shift, not sure if I mentioned that, but I probably will post another video later down the road. But again, if you're interested, leave a comment, let me know. Another video that I want to work on is going to be what's in my bag. I ended up just setting up my bag how I want it, and things that I used a lot are in here now. And now that I'm working and had my first week of orientation and all that, so I feel like it'll be a good watch. So if you're interested in that, I don't know, I hate to say subscribe, but just keep an eye out for it, I guess. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll see you guys.